I'm Dr. Michael Edelstein, clinical psychologist, and welcome to our weekly REBT 3-Minute Therapy podcast. And REBT is Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, which was devised by Albert Ellis, 1955, and his first publication was 1956. He's written over 80 books on the subject and related subjects, and that's Albert Ellis, Ellis. And we do these podcasts every week. My partner has laryngitis, so he'll be just in the chat. And that's Mick Berry, and also my co-author. We wrote Stage Fright. I wrote a number of books. The most popular is called 3-Minute Therapy. You can get that on Amazon if you spell out the number 3. And REBT is based on the foundational idea that our emotions do not come from situations, but rather our emotions come from our thinking about situations, what we tell ourselves about the circumstances and occurrences in our life. And when we have disturbed emotions, it comes from a particular type of thinking. That's thinking in terms of demands, must, should, supposed tos, and global evaluations, awfuls, terribles, and I can't stand it. I can't stand the discomfort, and condemning others. And that leads to anger, resentment, and hostility. The first must, a demand on oneself, is I must do well and get approval. And if I don't, then I'm no good, I'm worthless, I'm a loser. That leads to anxiety, guilt, and depression. The second demand is a demand on others, which takes the form of you must treat me fair, kindly, and courteously, lovingly, rationally, reciprocally. And if you don't, you're no good. You're a rotten person. You deserve to roast in hell. And I've just appointed myself your roaster. And the third must and area of emotional disturbance is the demand not on people, oneself or others, but a demand on the impersonal conditions of one's life. And that takes the form of my life, my situation, my circumstances must be fair, easy, and hassle-free. And if it's not, then my life is terrible. I'm going to be miserable forever. So I'll drink, smoke, shoot up to escape it, and or at worst, commit suicide. So that's where emotional disturbance comes from. And the solution is to identify your demands, identify your musts and shoulds, question, challenge, and contradict them, and show yourself that although your underlying preferences make sense, I prefer to do well and get approval, I prefer you to treat me well, I prefer my life to go well, the preferences make sense, even passionate preferences, but there's no reason things must be the way I want them to be. I don't run the universe, so the universe has its own ideas. Today, we're going to be discussing REBT and success. And in order to be successful, the first step is establishing goals. If you don't have a goal, then you're not going to get anywhere. If you don't know where you want to go, then you're not going to get there. So establish goals. What are your goals for life success? Is it to be successful at business, to be successful in a relationship, to be successful in having a family? So there are various areas of success you could choose. And then the second step is to identify any emotional problems you might have about success. That's called using the problem separation technique. What are my practical problems and what are my emotional problems? We've established a practical problem, how to be successful, and then our emotional problems might be feeling stressed and anxious about succeeding, being guilty about not trying hard enough, making yourself angry towards someone else who you think is blocking your success. And the third must that might block success emotionally is a demand on situations. Life must be easier and it's too hard, so I might as well give up or not work hard. So those are the emotional blocks. And then in terms of practical blocks to success, it means once you decide what you'd like to be successful at, it means studying, learning, working hard and smart on working toward your goals. And that takes practice, experience, getting mentors and tutors to help you, studying up on the subject that you'd like to be successful at, and trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing, but learning from your experience and refusing to put yourself down in the process. So that outlines the basic ideas in terms of being successful from an REBT perspective. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat below. And if you like this, if you found this useful, please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be a guest, or suggest a guest, let us know. And contribute to Patreon to help support us. And tune into our podcast every week to stay on the rational side of life.